Not just back to the action, back to some championship action. Alligator Source here, joined by Wolfie Too Hot. Wolfie, we're going to have some really hot matches coming up the final day of the LOS Scholastics. It's exciting. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely exciting. We have a first matchup here for this first round, Gator. Just being able to come in and see what the best high school players have to offer here tonight. Carmel stepping up, going to be one of the first team we see on stream tonight. Going to be a sweet game for them, trying to go away with a sweet victory. But what are you really hoping for the grand schemes of tonight?
Competitive games, you always hope for that coming on into it. And these players, I mean, they're good, like you mentioned. One of the things I talk about with people, and you and I have had conversations about it, is we believe that a lot of the heart of esports is going to come from this high school and in collegiate levels. And it's so cool to be able to see these events and get some of this action up in front of us again. Carmel and Michigan City, I imagine they're going to be pretty solid.
You know, Michigan City, I think the state of Michigan right now is having a great month and a great 2 months. So, this team trying to do the same thing here, find themselves with a championship. And, they could potentially come out here tonight, hold that LOS championship medal at the very top of the pinnacle. But this first 5 minutes is going to be interesting here, Gator. We have a best of 7 to really kick things off of. And from our experience, we've watched a lot of Rocket League. In best of 7s, what are you really hoping for here in game number 1?
The two things that you look for in game number 1 is a hot start and seeing if the team that does not get the hot start can rebound and keep playing fluidly even at the end of the game. Plenty of time in a series. You don't want to drop any game, don't get me wrong. But when you get to these longer events, it's how do you manage? How do you make adjustments and how do you switch? We could see one of these teams come out and hit 3 goals in the first 30 seconds. It happens, but what is the next 4.5 minutes plus the games after that? So you hear a lot about getting that hot start. I think it's just as important to see how the other team responds. You?
I feel exact same. These teams have played an entire season together. They already know how the chemistry is going to come out here. This is where you have to go from the learning phase into the executing phase here in the playoffs, especially in match number 1 here. This is where teams are still getting their feet under them. So I feel if we have any chance of stealing away a series or a game at all, it's here right now at the start of this tournament.
And so remember, folks, single elimination tournament as well. In the quarterfinals, we're going to follow this matchup as well as the semifinals and then bring you all the way through the grand finals later on. And it gets to that point, Wolfie, I mean, to counter my own point, saying, you have 7 games, up to 7, but you only got 1 life to play with. So it's going to be interesting once we see this coming out. And playing at the high school level, too, I mean, a lot of mentality is a huge part of not just any esport, but especially Rocket League. And you get some interesting twists in my experience with some of these younger players where they both do get rattled more, but they also don't at the same time. Some of them keep that fire going no matter what.
And that's what you love to see. It's just having that type of characteristics that these players have, and still the amateur level. When we get to that pro scene, there's so much pressure put onto them. And here, coming up against some of your own in terms of grade level, in terms of rank, you really want to come in here. And it has the same type of feel for these players out here tonight. You play all season long to get to this point. Things are going to be electric, but I'm hoping for a couple OTs. I'm hoping for at least 2-3 OTs just for the sake of the stream. We love content here on the LOS Champs Twitch channel, and I'm here for it. If they want to make it interesting, I know that everyone in the audience is going to be happy about it. I don't know if the players on the pitch want to see it. They're probably like, Wolfie, Alligator, we do not want to see an OT. The last thing our hearts need in round number 1 is a scare, even with the single elim. But right now, players are just waiting to get into the lobby, and we're going to start kicking things off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And got to put the correction as well. Michigan City is from Indiana. You got to take the wins when you can get them, though, so you got to keep riding with it. But we love the folks from Indiana as well. Cookie's producer, a longtime Indiana boy, from what I understand. But now, like I said, we're just waiting for folks to get everything ready. It looks like we should be ready to kick off for our first game here in just a moment, just making sure everything is good behind the scenes. But again, Wolfie, I agree with you. The players are likely, they don't want to see OTs. They want to see, a 4-game series. They don't want to see this go long at all. But look, we didn't get into working on the broadcast side of things by not wanting to see more Rocket League, right? We want to see all this stuff happen. So these players, they're going to start hopping up into the lobby. They're going to join up. Carmel versus Michigan City, game 1 of a best of 7 quarterfinals matchup to find out who's going to be continuing on into the semis.
And 5 minutes to start things off here in game number 1. All the questions will be answered here. And Allie, this orange side going to try to start it off quickly. As a good clear here will allow this blue half to have some pressure eased off.
Yeah, and I think everything here in the first game, full send it. We're going to go right off the bat. No, we're getting a lot of pressure, though. Very solid goal coming in already from Michigan City. A nice little pass here from Blade, looking to try to get a touch over to teammate. Can't quite get there by the defense. Universal. Clean touch to put him up 18 seconds in.
Yeah, Blade just cuts right through the defense. Universal just saying, I can do it all, doesn't matter where I'm at. But this first goal puts that monkey off their back, shows them that they deserve to be here. And for Carmel, they come right back to it. A 1-1 game to start things off.
And there you go. There's that answer back right away. Logan's just a great challenge on there as well. A bit of a free ball up in front of the net. One that in threes, a little bit safer to go for. You have that people behind you, but in, playing in twos or ones, obviously you don't go for it, but the players know where they are. They trust each other. They're ready to go for it. Again, a shot coming in for Blade, but saved away by Mr. Mekki and getting that deep touch downfield.
And we knew this was going to be a good game here, Ali. We're seeing the 4 and 5 seeds as Logs able to log in the second goal here to take the lead.
And Ricey is going to be the one to dive that in. And Wolfie, I want to point out, using that back wall, using that free real estate, something that you see as ranks in Rocket League continue to climb, you see that Z-axis getting used more, especially those passes, and it's on display right there.
Being able to really come out here and get those passes, it's what separates you apart. I was talking beforehand of how this team right now for Carmel, they're 6-4 in the 6-6 in the season, 4-6 for Michigan City. So these teams are right there, that 4 and 5 seed. So they're going to battle extremely tough. As a double commit there, will ward that one off into the corner as Carmel starting to get salty, trying to put on a big play, and Mr. Mekki showing it off here.
And that is a name well-earned, well-deserved, that follow-up double touch. And suddenly, Wolfie, we're seeing a ton of offense coming out from Carmel. They've been up on field. They've been getting the shots off quick. And it's going to be difficult for Michigan City. But again, 4 minutes left, game number 1. They just got to work their way out of defense. They've been pinned back, have not really gotten too much room to work with. But if they can get through this midfield, if they can get past this possession game, things are probably going to look up for them. They've looked threatening on offense. They just haven't been there as much as they'd like.
And this team is starting to open up the floodgates. That's going to be the hat trick to start this one. 1.5 minutes off the board, but 4 goals inside the net of this orange half as Carmel. Sweet success in this one. And, right now, if you are Michigan City, what's the mentality like in game number 1? You're trying to get a feel for things. You always can't look at it at potentially a doomsday, but this game is starting to get out of hand.
Yeah, you just got to shake it off and remember that it's early on. And remember, you're going against Carmel. You got to bring up the heat a little bit. You get that slow simmer. You let the sugars come together. That's when Carmel works well. Turn up the heat, turn up the pressure. You're going to be left with a sticky mess. But so far, they've been doing everything they need to do through the first minute 30. They're going to continue on, I imagine.
This is where this team just... Exactly. Their mentality has to come in. You have to know, hey, we knew it was going to be a long stretch throughout this game. Carmel 50% on the season in terms of wins and losses. So this team's going to have tons of success throughout their name. But now you have to see, all right, they're 50-50. Let's go out for game number 2. The odds are in our favor. Ricey unable to get too much of a touch. And I feel right now for this orange half, you just have to focus on trying to work your offense and slowly get acclimated right now.
Yeah, they've only registered 2 shots through 2 minutes and change. That one's just going to be a dunk from Mr. Mekki to keep pouring it on for Carmel. Just challenging it there in the midfield, following it up and getting a very calculated touch to get that 6th goal for Carmel.
Yeah, the Rocket League IQ starting to really come out into effect. As for some of these players, we don't get to see them too very often. So in moments like this, where we're able to have them on stream, they can make a name for themselves. And Mr. Mekki trying to really show that his name, as well as Logs, has been one of the most biggest factors here in game number 1 at a 6-1 deficit at halftime. This one will get cleared towards mid, trying to catch a teammate, but nothing too much as we'll roll slowly onto the orange half.
And again, just spending so much time over in this orange half as well. I mean, 14 shots to 2, 5 saves coming out of this Michigan City half, but that's because they've been warding off this offensive push. That's going to be an inadvertent backflip, but the post is going to play defense for the moment, keeping us at a 5-goal difference. This is going to be an opportunity that Michigan City can seize to get some of that momentum back on their side.
You know, this is a great job. Casper putting in goal number 2 here as the Brazil no longer in effect. Barcelona's still there for the 8, but nonetheless, they're showing themselves to say we're a late game team right now. We need to go our way in, allow ourselves just to get into a little rhythm. A couple goals here and there could strike some positive fortunes. But one thing I found interesting here, Logs and Ricey, 2 seniors on this team here for Carmel. The 2 leading veterans trying to come in and really try to push them forward. And you know, how is that when you're having these late graduates here for high school in terms of the junior, senior class to really put yourself forward? I mean, you know, right now, Michigan City, I believe they have 2 sophomores on their team.
Yeah, you start to see just a little bit difference, I think, longer term throughout the series. In game individually, age doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't matter too terribly much. It's when you start getting into that length, how does the mentality change? How does it, do you stay grounded? Do you start working on it? And that's where I mentioned a little bit older tends to be a little bit more stable, but that also means sometimes the fire isn't there the entire time through. Regardless, we're seeing a lot of fire from Carmel. I mean, 7 goals with still 90 seconds and change to go in game number 1, putting on a statement.
Yeah, and I think the way this team kind of came into game number 1, the mentality was let's put this team down. We don't have to completely bury them, but right now the shovels are out and they're getting close to 6 feet deep. But with the 5-goal deficit right now for this orange team, 1 more goal before the end of regulation could lead to some silver linings as Mr. Mekki, I don't even know if he touched that one going down.
Just pouring it on again. I mean, Mr. Mekki called out the name earlier saying it was good and didn't get to contact. Doesn't need it. Just watching that go past the defense. And I mean, Wolfie, 8 goals, 8-2, 1:11 left on the clock. I mean, what do you think we need to see different from Michigan City coming into game 2? Game 1 pretty much done and dusted. They're just going to play for getting that mojo back. But what do you think they need to change up?
Well, you're obviously you're seeing the pace of play continue to be dictated by the blue half. This is where you have to allow yourself to win boost pads, not allow for this opposition to really beat you in that capacity, not allow too many of the passing lanes to be opened up, which I feel could be shallowed down with just the ability to win on that essence, because you're seeing how well this team is being able to control their car. You're seeing Logs there almost having a beautiful shot on net. You have to find a way to dictate that, not give them those opportunities. As Logs logging in goal number 4. 4 for 6 on the evening, continue to be effective.
Yeah, and just the issue with the rotations and patience there for the Michigan City defense. And, you know, Carmel, they're not going to let that go without getting a goal. They're going to want to keep that momentum going themselves. You can put up double digits in a game. I mean, you take that chance, do you not?
No, you have to, especially when the morale factor that it has. So much Rocket League is a mental game, and being able to get into the heads of your opposition. We see it at the highest levels in RLCS. And you can see the same here in Los Champ League, as this one will be pushed off to the side. As Logs, they're back to the action here tonight. I think they started off in a very, very hot start.
Absolutely. Mr. Mekki, the one to step it up since, and we have a potential opportunity for one more. Mr. Mekki redirecting, but Blade, a huge demo on a Ricey to actually take that away. So Carmel are going to win 9-2. They don't get that 10th goal, which, I mean, wild saying 10 possible goals coming into these games, but they do get held off. But I mean, Wolfie, that offense from Carmel, that was deadly throughout the entire game.
Yeah, you just have to just hold your breath. 20 shots on net to 3 of Michigan City. Michigan City, it's easy to say you got outshot. You got outpaced, you got outshot. You were blowing out the wazoo here right now. And it's due to the fast rotation of Carmel right now. They're looking at the ranks. Carmel C1, C3, GC1, 2 C1s and a D1 for Michigan City. But I still feel Michigan City, if they can just change little aspects, they can come right back into it. Their defense was playing stellar. We see it, 7 saves to their name here, 2 shots on goal. They're right there. They're just missing that extra speed right now, Ali.
Yeah, no, speed to the challenges and having control of the ball. There's no doubt that Carmel are playing faster, but that doesn't mean Michigan City are out of it by any means. It's going to be a possession game, and it's going to be taking advantage of your opportunities when you get them. Just hard to get them when you're getting beaten to the ball over and over. But we'll find out if the pressure here, 20,000 leagues under the sea in Aquadome, will be what Michigan City needs to change it up and take a game off Carmel. They're getting everybody ready to find out who is going to have the victory in game number 2. If Carmel going to keep that offense going, Will Michigan City slow it up? Make sure everything's going good here. Player had slight connection issues getting back into the lobby, but should be ready to go. And joining, they are indeed.
One thing I'm interested to see is how the post-game adjustments are going to be for this team. Having a coach and really trying to see if he's going to be able to really push this team forward. What this team's able to really draw from is what are the aspects that are a bit one of those question marks when we look at some of these games here in the high school league. But 5 minutes, game number 2. Carmel trying to take this one, go 2-0 in the series, as this one may start off with a first quick goal. But what a save at the net.
Now, Casper may have been the last one to join the lobby, but he's going to be the last one to get that touch as well, keeping it out. And that first line of defense was solid. Carmel were lining up with the second man, ready to get that challenge, ready to get whatever cleanup opportunity was there. But no panic from Michigan City on the goal line, and that's something that's going to be very important for them as they go through this series, is not panicking, as pressure likely is going to keep picking up from Carmel.
Oh, you can take this off here in the corner. It's trying to get this pass. You're seeing they're trying to continue getting everyone involved. Same thing we saw back in game number 1. This team's ability to really have that ball hawk ability has been one to really watch out for. It's a good midfield pass. Mekhi gonna put it right back in the corner. 1-2-1 play. Right back to 2. Can't connect there. The open net. Gonna have to try to readjust.
And the give and goes are usually so deadly as well whenever you go into any of these matches. And we do see that get defended, though, and like we were kind of talking about, the difference is going to be that Michigan City defense. They held up so strong in game 1. Again, it was just the effort, all the opportunities that Carmel were getting. I mean, 20 shots is nothing to sniff at, but they've been held to just 2 shots 90 seconds into game number 2. They might sneak one in here right away. Okay, 3 shots in the first 90 seconds. Calling me a liar.
First 90 seconds, I believe we saw 3 goals already at this point for this Carmel squad. So the defense starting to bunker down, and that's what we're hoping to see. And usually the MO for most teams is the score line usually drops down after game number 1. And, tried and true here. History repeats, but Ricey almost able to put that through, making a big add to the grain pile there as Mr. Mekhi just trying to put it into a blue corner.
Ooh, what a shot there by Blade. Getting played back into that blue half, just continuing on. Mr. Mekhi definitely trying to play it off into the corner, but I don't think he saw that Blade was so far upfield. He was able to just turn around and say, hey, wait a minute, what's this? And takes that lead in game 2.
Yeah, general rule is put it in the corner, it's safe there. But a shark in the waters here in Aquadome as we see our first lead for Michigan City, as Blade needing to get this off his half but this will just be possessions for the blue side.
Getting those infield passing plays as well. That is going to be a dangerous shot. It sneaks inside that far post. And we're seeing this side-to-side gameplay. Logan slowing it down, sees Ricey cutting across 2 defenders on that near side. Universal looking to cut up, gets caught in no man's land. Ricey takes advantage.
Yeah, great job by Ricey. The midfield pass we were talking back in game number 1. And this lead by Michigan City, they know that they were hoping to hold on to that just for a bit longer. But this team knew that they were going to be in for a dogfight. They need to show their fangs. And this one will just be put into a corner. Getting here to halftime in game number 2. We're all equaled up as these 2 teams are starting to get to know each other. And I think the formulas are starting to really come into full effect.
We're starting to see everything just kind of settling in. Game 1 looking like it may have been a little bit of an aberration just in terms of Michigan City needing to get back up to the pace, and they've done that. I mean, Carmel are still looking comfortable, but they're not as free play-like as they were in game 1. I really like this aggression coming up from Michigan City, trying to change that up, challenging a little bit earlier. They are keeping somebody deep back on defense, however, not wanting to let a lob go over the top, not looking to let anything a little too kooky come through. They're going to get a couple of saves there and try to get a transitional offense going.
That's something that we usually see for some of these teams, just scared of that rotation. And, it's understandable in its competitive nature. It's different than ranked, ladies and gentlemen. It's different than really playing online with your friends, knowing that there's a championship involved. Your heart races a little bit. Your palms start sweating. Is that one unable to go? The crossbar, 4th defender being the best defender in that instance is Ricey, almost putting the clip on for the chat.
I'll see once if they get that permanent defender, if it switches on over to the old Gibbs preset from like 8 years ago, that's going to be a throwback. But Similar to throwback to game number one, the offense really picking up here for Carmel, putting several shots. I mean, now up to 10 shots after being held at bay for so long. 8 saves for Michigan City, but this offense just eventually overwhelming, getting that lead with 76 seconds left. Wolfie, Michigan City had the lead for a little bit, and it kind of slowed down, and they got to fight from behind again.
Fighting from behind, but now it's going to be 2 goals here at 110. This team for this blue squad just opened things up after halftime. You know, Michigan City, I felt this game was in the palm of their hands, but the offense just so dynamic here for Carmel.
Yeah, they're just switching it up, and I mean, they keep challenging, keep pushing, and eventually there's going to be some holes within that defense. At any defense, you get too much pressure on you. It's so hard to keep that at bay, and you're seeing that here in Aquadome. The offense continuing for Carmel. They really do not want to give any sniff of hope to their opponents. Mr. Mekki just on that challenge, picking up another one. First goal of the game for him after how many in game number one? But still 4-1 with 50 seconds left. A very different game than the first half of game 2.
Yeah, it seems maybe this team kind of allowed for themselves to let the opposition come to them. They knew that they were dominant. They knew that they could really pick up the pace when they wanted to, but they really allowed for this moment to be dictated by them. They said, we have all the cards. We're going to deal them when we feel like it. As Logs pushing this on towards mid, looking for one more touch. We'll be able to get it, but a good defensive clear. We'll put this right back on the Blues side as Ricey unable to gain full possession.
Wolfie, I think we have to talk about your understanding of card games. If the dealer has the choice to deal when they feel like it, pretty sure that's written into the rules. But you know what? We're all playing games at different levels. Maybe I just haven't hit those advanced techniques that you have.
Hey, you know, I always keep one up my sleeve, so no one really knows when the cards I have are real or not. So, you know, this is where this team right now for Michigan City have to have a couple cards up for their sleeves. That this one will end trying to go for a goal number 2, but we'll have to wait to see if how the next one will go, as a 2-0 deficit will be the leading score right now as Carmel takes 2 games in this best of 7.
And they're sitting really good moving forward as well. It's really going to be, how does Michigan City bounce back? Readying up fairly quickly, and I imagine you do. You get into these games, you usually have the blood pumping a little bit. You don't want to dawdle too terribly long. I was just remarking to a couple of people yesterday, I'm surprised more teams don't take the full 60 seconds between games, to be honest. Yeah, I agree with the ready up right away, but it's just something that it just happens over and over.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think after this game, if Michigan City does go down, you have to take that 60-second timeout. So it's one of those unofficial timeouts that we're given. And going down 3-0 in a best of 7, knowing that you have only 1 game left. Yes, it's 2-0 right now. You can all by all means be a little risky, knowing that you have a little bit to play with. But Michigan City have to come out here electric right at the start of this game. They did here in game number 2, but Carmel just showing that they're a different animal, and you have to find a way to put a leash on that animal right now.
Yeah, just stall them up, get them pinned back in their own half. Easier said than done, of course. But it seems once Carmel get up on offense, they really do not let go of that possession. They're going to keep pushing until either you force them back out or they're scoring. And the first half of that game was more in line with Michigan City being able to get those defensive stops and start trying to get that offense going. Touches a little bit too heavy. They couldn't get passes to each other. But they're getting closer, and that's the thing. If they can extend that first 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to a full 5-minute game, it's going to look pretty different. But stringing it together when you have a team that is rolling as well as Carmel, it's hard.
You know, in Carmel, though, I've been so impressed coming into some of these games. We've seen a lot of Rocket League, Ali, over the last couple of years. Remember IGL, Indie Gaming League? We saw a lot of great talent there, and that was another place where we were able to see a widespread of ranks. And, you know, being able to see that shows you what works in this champ to low GC level. And right now, it just feels that Carmel, they have the roadmap. They know how their game plan needs to come in. They're going to try to play their brand of Rocket League, and it's in full effect. And this one may start off again with the first goal, but it looks like Michigan City is going to have to rotate back quickly.
Now, that was a huge opportunity for them and a good effort to get back as well, 2 up on offense, but the opportunity very much there. This is going to be where that rank difference kind of comes in. 2 players for Carmel up, all 3 for Michigan City on the ground, and that's what's giving Carmel extra time to go through on these challenges. Sometimes you just got to even if you're not making contact with it, you just got to go for it to force the opponents to respond respect your touches, even if you're not necessarily hitting it. Sometimes you got to bluff just that little bit. But scoreless for now. A soft angle coming in from Loggins. It will be sent back. First minute scoreless.
Yeah, first minute scoreless, but this one looks like Mekhi was trying to find Ricey there upfield. Ricey just too far back, unable to get too much of a touch of the midfield pass. Cut away quickly. This team's starting to slowly get themselves here in game number 3. It seems that they finally have a better understanding of how this offense likes to generate, but it was a low-scoring game back in that first half until Ricey blew it all up the way he has here.
It was just a quick committee meeting in front of that near post, and ultimately the decision was to just swat it out of there. Ricey was going to get it whether or not Loggins called him off or not, and he sees that lane, sees the opportunity, is able to get out of that kerfuffle and get that first goal on for Carmel. They might just get a kickoff goal as well. The post keeps it out, but the defense struggling to clear it. Eventually it does off that Mr. Mekhi challenge. A survival moment for Michigan City, but again, still stuck back in their half.
As much as I don't like saying it's over till it's over, second goal there would have put this team in such a hole, but this is where you need to step up. Blade needs to take things slowly. This one will be pushed right out, but a teammate in Ricey unable to get too much there.
See if Universal needed a little bit more juice on that one, but still saved by Mr. Mekhi. Some possession here in the blue half. Have not seen that too extended. Blade off the ceiling as well. He's going to use that delayed flick to get the pass on over to Universal, so slowing it down, changing expectations, and finding themselves tied up 2 minutes in the game. A great sequence there for Michigan City.
And Universal catching a beautiful pass, and this is where this team needed to get going. They know they can't do it individually. Get everyone in tandem. 1-1, 3 minutes into this one, still left on the board, Allie. And I feel if this team can find a way just to juice one more goal, they may be able to hold out as Ricey going out to Loggins. Good little shot here. We'll make things awkward for the defense. The double commit will push this off into the corner.
I think the discussions for Michigan City have been bearing fruit. You are seeing them be more aggressive and get up into that air a little bit quicker. That first 15 seconds notwithstanding, but they've been doing very well. I mean, it's tied up halfway through game number 3, down 2-0. Obviously been a very strong series so far from Carmel. They'll be looking to try to get this lead back. A great catch there by Ricey. Gets it past 2, but Universal on the retreat, able to put it off over to the corner.
And the one thing I love about Carmel right now is how methodical they are with their plays. Is this one going back the other way? I'll say my methodical plays, but sometimes you just need things to go your way. It's a beautiful triple commit. Team play makes the world go round.
And you're just seeing everyone support each other to get the power off behind it. You gotta love it. And hey, goals are goals. It doesn't matter how you score if you just gotta take advantage of it. And now with a 1-goal lead, 2 minutes to play. Well, we'll see if Michigan City, they got a bit of a wind in their sails, potentially a feather in their cap. We'll see if they can parlay this into a full win. They still got 2 minutes to go, and they are looking much different than they did, especially from game 1, but even from game 2 as well.
Yeah, this team, I think they finally got back into it. It's one of those where in these competitive settings, it takes you some time just for you to calm those nerves. And sometimes, maybe in game 1 and 2, those nerves came out and they were saying, hey, it's hard for me to control this. I haven't been in a stage like this where the lights are this bright. But now they're saying, hey, we know where we're at. We know if we go down here, we only have one game to keep ourselves in this line for potential championship run. The great clear here. We'll push it the other way, but a great job by the last defender in Casper.
Yeah, Casper's been playing very defensively here for this Michigan City side. I mean, generally rotating back, got involved with a couple of the goals, has one, of course, but generally more willing to play that third man. Of course, when you get the ball on your hood, you got to go for it, trying to get that ground play going. With 60 seconds left, we have not seen Carmel with the deficit this late in a game. We'll have to look to see if they can get past this newfound Michigan City defense, this newfound confidence coming on into this.
Yeah, you know, this could kind of just change things around. Who knows? We might see this team take this game and never look back for Michigan City. And this is where Carmel, you can't allow this team to take this, to win this. This could be a detriment to yourself. Yes, you still feel that you're the better team, but if you can find a way to sneak it in, this could potentially be one of the biggest games for this team to come back for in terms for Michigan State. I mean, Michigan City, sorry, as that one will get pushed right back into the corner as Loggins trying to keep this off his half.
And they got those demos on the goal line too. I thought for sure that was going to work out in something we have not really seen this series is the physicality. It was interesting to see it there. Blade challenging. It's going to keep in the blue half. That's going to be good for Michigan City. Is now a full pitch. No, the ground is going to end it in a slugfest in game number 3. Michigan City take the win 1-2 or 2-1. We've called it efficiency. I mean, only got 3 shots and he still get 2 goals off it.
That's how this team likes to play. We saw it back. Was it game number 1? 3 shots to 1 goal. This team, they may not get too many opportunities, but they know how to use it when they do. But is this the swing game that they needed? The sweep's out the door. The janitorial staff, they were going to come in, but the brooms are left outside. So no, they don't have to worry about that. And that's a great angst for yourself to just alleviate. But Carmel, this is going to be the first time where they have to feel tested here tonight. And now how do you bounce back after a bit of adversity?
And honestly, if you're Carmel, I don't think you really need to change too much. I mean,
not at all.
Yeah, I mean, they still put up 10 shots. 5 of them were saved. The other, the other 1 or 2 account. Point being, a lot of them are getting saved, but the shots just didn't have the accuracy that we saw in the previous couple of games. They still got off 10 shots, Wolfie. Like, that's not a low number by any means in any of these games. And so if you're Carmel, I mean, it just kind of, you're talking to each other saying, okay, they got 1. Let's kind of get back to our own script.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it didn't even feel that like 10 shots that last game either. It's kind of bewildering seeing that stat there because I felt that, yes, while this blue half may have been kind of crowding that orange side a bit more, I really felt that the defense was warding them off quite well. But can the defense step up again, or will the offense explode here for Carmel? All the answers found out here. This team trying to get one step closer with a 2-1 lead. I'm sorry, as Mr. Mekki keeping us in the corner, trying to rotate this one out. But quick bump there will make this ball free there.
If they can get that deliberate pace of play again and keep it at that slower pace, it's going to look a lot better for them. But that's going to be a nice power shot there from Loggins. The defender is sitting in net waiting for it. Universal are trying to bring that off over to the side. Maybe not exactly the touch that he wanted. It drops in front of Loggins and just going to pop this one in to get that early goal.
Yeah, great early goal. And that's the one thing about this team that I've noticed after game number 1, after they saw, they've just been so methodical. They've been slowing things down. Their pace of play isn't as quick as it is, but I feel the effectiveness or the efficiency of the shots that they've been hitting have come from so different angles that this defense is soon going to start cracking. How well can you keep playing at such a high level? As Mr. Mekki leave it towards mid, no one able to get to it as Loggins trying to continue on the threat.
It was a good demo from the defense as well. 2 players going to be in there. That's just going to be an awkward bouncing in. We'll take another look at this one, Wolfie. An interesting series of events here in the orange half.
Yeah, that's interesting to say the least. And unfortunately for the defense, just couldn't get away with it. They'll commit there. And no, we just have to look down 2-0, where we saw the lead grow late in here in number 2. This team has found a way to bounce back in the early steading. As you know, they took a time. They were sleeping giants for a bit, but they said it's time for us to just get hot from the early stead. I think that game woke them up.
Yeah, I think it did. Honestly, I anticipate the comms getting very serious here for Carmel, saying, "Look, we don't want to play loose with this at all. We want to make sure this series goes the way we want." And they're really bringing it back here to start off game number 4.
Yeah, and you have to see, is this gonna be another game where they're gonna try to blow things out of the water and kind of just say, "Hey, we want to put our superiority on full display and just show that, hey, you guys struggled, but we're here to put you guys down for the count," as Loggins unable to get too far up that half. Is a good clear here, putting into the corner for Mr. Mekki with 10 boosts and a dream.
He did ultimately get that boost, though. But Mr. Mekki, he missed the full pill on the way down. It might not matter. A Loggins shot is going to be a little wide. His Blade playing it off to that side as well, trying to get past that front line, but next one there is going to be Ricey. Maybe something going to work out here for Michigan City. We'll get a bit of a free bounce, but no. Loggins solo to the air, but challenge. Casper up. See if the third man can make something happen, but Mr. Mekki quick as well.
You're starting to see things slow down from the offense. I'm curious if this blue half kind of did that on purpose in terms of, hey, we got 3 goals now. It's time to waste clock now. Time management, one of the most underrated aspects I feel for some Rocket League teams. game is being able to go there and control that pace of play in terms of the time possession. As Ricey trying to get a long clear here, we'll put it past them. Open net, goal number 4 won't come.
Big save there by Universal to keep this within 3 with half of the game to go. They're going to have to get back out of their side, though. They're starting to get shots. I mean, 3 shots, most they've had in half a game, but they'll need to parlay that into goals because they've just been getting saved. Challenged early when they've had to get a nice one coming in here, but Logan's good cut across that defensive line. Casper with the catch, a bit heavy. Ricey cutting through, leading it upfield. Blade will be up to buy some time for Michigan City, and he might have a little bit more than that. He might find himself a goal.
Sometimes you just need to wait things out, and Blade doing that just there. Nobody back. Mr. Mekhi unable to get a touch and able to make it a lucrative one. 1-3 now, down 2 with 2:14. It's possible, Allie. It is definitely possible for a comeback now.
Oh, it's possible. It totally is. And it's just that kind of possession game from Michigan City. If they can keep that going and, take advantage of mistakes from Carmel, they're still going to be playing fast and loose. But when you get them up into the air, if they miss, I mean, that is a player that generally takes themselves out of the game. They're keeping someone back as well. Mr. Mekhi, let's escort this one across the front of the net. Ricey taking out Casper. Quick shot from Blade, but saved again. Loggins stepping up in a big way this game.
Yeah, Loggins was one of those players that had quick work back in game number 1, and here in game number 4 knew that I have to come back and be that big factor for this team. As no one there to catch that pass. Mekhi trying to keep this towards midfield. The double commit will push it onto the blue half, but no one really there to take full possession here for this Michigan City side.
They just got to get it out of their half again because these shots are starting to come in. Again, Logan's leading the effort on it, but saved initially. Looking to get this redirect off the side. Keeps it off to the corner. A little bit of room to work with, and he's going to get it past the defense, but nobody's going to be there. Very conservative play style there from Ricey. Doesn't want to let anything go too far, but Mr. Mekhi can't quite get that follow-up angle. Can't corral it, but he's taking time off the clock. With a minute left, Wolfie, we're going to need to see this energy pick up for Michigan City.
Yeah, I want to see one more late goal. I was going to say for Michigan City, and Ricey says, you didn't finish the sentence, Wolfie. I got it before you were. Is this going to put it to 4-1 under 60 seconds?
Just what a dime into traffic as well. I mean, Loggins set up more of a generic coming off that sidewall looking for the pass, but no, just what a small gap to get it into. Get enough power to get it past the defense as well. Big goal there for Carmel. While they're already looking very good in this game, certainly that is going to put away any bit of doubt. I think we're going to, again, look to see if Michigan City can get some of their mojo going here in the final 30, but Carmel, they're looking back to game 1 and 2 for Ricey's he's just showing off.
Yeah, he said there's a hat trick to be claimed, and I'm going to grab it. Able to come in 75% on this game, 3 for 4. That's going to be a cliff for later on.
Absolutely. And that was one that we all go for so often, right, Wolfie? You just see it line up, and you're like, imagine I can get this. And every so often you get it.
Yeah, I'm still getting that feeling. I'm still in the trenches down in Diamond. So I'm going to take your word for it. I'm over here just trying to hit a ball. But, this is why it's great to see some of these players in. So young, so talented. And, the point is to get these kids to that next level for any collegiate school. It doesn't have to be the top of CRL. It could be as long as these players are having fun, getting an education. That's what these Los Champs are here for. As this one will hit the ground. Carmel take a 3-1 lead now, trying to grab the gentleman's sweep into game number 5. But, Allie, this team took the reins right back.
Yeah, they just seized control of it and really didn't let go. And to button up one of your points, as a washed Champ 3, you never feel good at the game. But definitely playing with confidence are Carmel. And again, they don't actually get to double-digit shots this game, but, 9-6. But win 5-1. Defense stood up in a big way. The passes were coming in clean and crisp. Carmel 1 game away from moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, one more game, and this team has to feel good about themselves, but it's not done. You can't allow yourself to get to that place. You saw this team get a bit complacent. That allowed for Michigan City to steal a game now. You have to close this series out. If you let it drag on a little longer, it's not going to go your way, as we're going to have all the bright lights here tonight in Sovereign Heights.
Exactly, indeed. So We'll see if Carmel can put that one away, because, I mean, the longer it goes, the more likely a comeback will happen, just because if the series keeps going, that means Michigan City is still alive. So, if you're Carmel, you're going to want to put this team away, get a little bit of rest before the semifinal matchup, but we're going to see how it all plays out here in Sovereign Heights. As you mentioned, it's game number 5 underway. And again, aggression coming out off the kickoff. Maybe something here, Mr. Mekki will find it.
Mr. Mekki may have Mekki in his name, but got a very casual goal there. Easy does it. Sometimes the easy goals are the most important. That's going to lead things off the charts. 6 seconds here to start this one off. And this team starting the way they got the ending of last game here, Allie. And they're saying, let's just go home, boys. Let's get us to the next round. Let's take a quick little break and let's get out of this game.
Although potentially looking ahead, the winner of this one will play Linden High School. Whereas no, they're going to confirm that, yes, they did get a 4-0 over Lynchburg Clay. So currently looking like it's going to be Carmel playing against them, but 4.5 minutes, of course, we'll have to see if Michigan City can pull that rabbit out of a hat and make some magic happen this Sunday afternoon.
You know, it's not always bad getting an extra game in or two at the beginning of some tournaments. Like you said, they got a 4-0 sweep, so the other team is waiting for them right now. Once this game ends, if it's not over, if Carmel wins this game and they're the ones looking at that side of the bracket, they can say, hey, we just came off a game. Yes, we're not extremely fresh, but we're warm. We're ready to go, and this team might use that to their advantage as Ricey double commit there into the corner. Mr. Mekki just trying to get back on the defensive end. That one won't be able to get going. Good shot attempt. We'll have to look again.
Yeah, it's solid defensive stand there, even if it looked a little accidental for Carmel, where some of the touches that looked like players wanted to go for, they ended up being better off letting the ball go where it may will. Because ultimately you see Loggins again finding that cutting Ricey coming up the mid. Loggins continuing to impress with this awareness, with this ability to find their teammates as they look to get these quick goals, and this connection has just been sublime. I look forward to seeing how well that continues, assuming we see them more throughout the evening.
You know, this is one of those games where I feel you have to just start going for the demo plays as well, Ellie. I think for Michigan State, just say, hey, you're out meching us, you're out speeding us. Let's take you off the field and see how you do on the number deficit. As Universal up past Blade trying to put it right back. 1-2 back to 1. Can Casper put it away as Mr. Mekki now just gonna walk the dog home?
And an opportunity not quite seized, just awkward spacing, but Mr. Mekki again sees it wide open, is able to put enough on it to keep it out of harm's way and follow up upon that as well. 3 goals, less than 2 minutes into the game. A very, very confident Carmel team. They're going to pick one up off the kickoff too.
4 goals in the first 2 minutes, but oh man, this game's getting out of hand. I'm looking back at that replay. Just a bit unfortunate. Looked like a little fat finger there. We've all been in that position, but down 4-0, how are you going to handle this position? Is this team, they haven't been able to come back from a deficit here so far. As a Musty coming out, top crossbar down, won't be able to get it. Mr. Mekki trying to close things out. Is a good save there by Casper.
I mean, Wolfie, all you got to say is NA kickoffs. I mean, it gets all of us one way or another, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
But no, 4 goals, 2.5 minutes left. We're gonna again need to see something here from Michigan City if this game is gonna go different. But I like that bit of control there. I like the bumping, and Casper is gonna come up to play cleanup, get a goal here for Michigan City, and seeing some of that physicality plus that great control from Blade coming into play.
And Casper saying, I'm not going to play Ghost. I'm going to show myself here. First goal on, and TTV in the name. You knew he was going to try to do it for the audience in hand. And I think this team, a lot to look at this one and probably reflect and say, hey, we got to just fix this here and there. But maybe a goal or two to end this game off. I don't like saying it's over, but the way that this team in blue has just been looking here tonight, they have looked very dominant, and they're looking to potentially get themselves to the grand finals if they can get through the next round. As Ricey trying to set a teammate up, will put a shot on, but no one there to deliver.
Yeah, just kind of caught that spacing between shot on target and using the back wall as a pass. So they're going to keep that offensive pressure going, try to scoop something mid, but a power touch from Universal to try to buy some room for Michigan City, but Rice is going to find a ton of power off of it. Loggins is going to be the recipient this time. Pretty sure Rice wanted to put that one right on target, but Loggins is going to be totally happy to come in and get this. 5 goals for Carmel. Looking more like Game 3 might have just been a road bump.
Yeah, that was just one where they may have passed the controller off to their little brother and said, I'm going to go get some water, be right back. I hit the restroom, and this team just didn't look the same. But all identity has been shown here ever since that loss.
No, they're bringing it. They are bringing the pressure for sure and looking to try to keep that fluidity going throughout the series. We talked about a little bit. You don't want to cool down too much at any point, so keep it fluid while you can. Loggins, that is just going to put the exclamation point on it. Wolfie, Carmel has just continued to step up their gameplay as the series has gone. I mean, even from game number 1, they put up 20 shots and 9 points. We didn't see any goals as smooth as that. If Carmel's only getting better as the day is going, I mean, you do the math on how they're trending.
This team, we were asking what they needed to do. Loggins logs in number 4 there. The senior is having a great night tonight. You know, hey, it's about to graduate. He wants to leave with some hardware before the end of this, at the end of this semester.
Yeah, exactly. Get some dubs in and get some of the winnings here as well, because there are some headsets on the line for the champions tonight as well. So I always got to play for that little bit of extra swag, right?
Oh, exactly. You know, and coming into this, these are moments where you look back in your esport career to see, hey, this is where we started. Who knows where he potentially going to get it. Loggins unable to get that one. It's a big defensive save, able to ward off this 8th goal.
Still warding it off and playing for pride at this point. I mean, we're sitting at that Brazil. We might see another goal coming in for Michigan City, but nothing wrong with playing for effort. Of course, you don't want the players to just end and put the controllers down, but still keeping these goals away. We're still seeing that push come in from Carmel. Again, they're at this point, I'm not going to say they're going to leave the opportunity open because 40 seconds left, 6 goals, not going to happen, but they're still playing with that pace. They don't want to call the dogs off at any point.
Now, this is where you say it's feeding time, guys. We have our bags packed, our passport in hand. We just need 30 seconds left, and this game becomes official in the books as Loggins puts us on the ground. You know, there's nothing to really hang your head for. You made it this far, and I hate saying consolation prize, but this is the point of these tournaments. Is for these individuals to get better, find opportunities to make it to that next level, no matter the type of program it is. And I feel here for Michigan City High School, this is one that you say, we go next, boys. Let's just keep grinding as Carmel will move their way on to the next round here.
And in stellar fashion, very strong offense coming out from these folks. And I imagine, Wolfie, that we're going to see that again throughout the evening. I would not be surprised to see them get a dub in the semifinals, but it's not going to be just up to them, of course. They're going to be playing against that Linden High School, but we're going to see stuff over on the other side of the bracket. But again, very strong one. Linden High School is also ranked number 1, so I imagine it's going to be a bit of a heavyweight fight over there on that semifinal match.
It really will be, and that's going to be one match that I think nobody wants to miss. A lot of great Rocket League action, ladies and gentlemen, right after this break. We'll be right back. Smash that heart button, leave a follow. We're growing every single day. We need your help doing it. We're right back with LOS Champs Rocket League.